Ethan sat in detention, again. The teacher looked at him with pity and said, "You're just like your father, a failure." Ethan clenched his fists. He had heard those words his whole life. Everyone said he would never be anything more than a dropout, and for a long time he believed it. But that night, something strange happened. At 3 a.m., Ethan woke up to find an old letter on his desk. It had no sender. It said, "Your future is already written, but do you dare to rewrite it?" Ethan's hands trembled. What did this mean? Who sent this? At the bottom of the letter was an address. Should he go? Ethan grew up in a broken home. His dad was a drunk, and people expected Ethan to end up just like him. Every bad grade, every mistake, people reminded him that he was worthless. So he stopped trying. Why fight a future that was already decided? Until now. Curiosity won. Ethan followed the address and found an empty house. Just an old mirror in the middle of the room. He looked into the mirror and suddenly, it wasn't his reflection, but it also wasn't his future. It was his father, but not the father Ethan knew. This version was young, full of life, hardworking, and passionate. Ethan was shocked. His father was once like this? Then the scene in the mirror changed. It showed his father as a child in school. He was kind, ambitious, and determined. But his father's father was a sweeper. The other kids mocked him. They laughed at him every day. "You're nothing. Just like your father." The young boy tried to ignore them. He worked harder. He believed that if he proved himself, they would stop. But they never did. Years passed and he broke. The pressure, the pain, the shame, it was too much. That's when he picked up his first drink. And slowly, he became the man Ethan knew today. Ethan's eyes filled with tears. He had spent his whole life hating his father. But now he understood. His father wasn't born broken. He was made that way. And Ethan was about to make the same mistake. Ethan clenched his fists. No. He turned away from the mirror and punched it. It shattered into a million pieces. Suddenly he was back in his bedroom. The letter was gone. But something had changed. For the first time, he didn't feel trapped. He didn't feel like a failure, because now he had a choice. The next day, Ethan went to school and studied hard. People laughed. "You? Studying? That's a joke." But Ethan smiled, because he knew something they didn't. He wasn't living in their version of his future anymore. Moral: the world will write your story for you, unless you take the pen and write it yourself.